How about them Cowboys? Angry Cowboys Fan. Born to battle. Start just means we never sell. America's team through thick and thin. When the star shines bright, that's when we win. Angry Cowboys Fan.
What's going on, Cowboys Nation? And Angry Cowboys fans around the world, y'all know who it is. It's your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan, and the Pro Bowl. The NFL Pro Bowl is underway with every team that didn't make the Super Bowl. For the Dallas Cowboys, there are a number of players that are representing the star in attendance. CeeDee Lamb, Jake Ferguson, Brandon Aubrey, Kevontae Turpin, Quinnen Williams, George Pickens, Tyler Smith, as well as the field general for the Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott. During the festivities, Clarence Hill Jr. of DLLS Cowboys caught up with the number one signal caller and spoke to him about a number of topics, from his thoughts on the new defensive coordinator Christian Parker, being at the Pro Bowl once again, as well as talking about the importance of keeping George Pickens in a Dallas Cowboys uniform. So we're going to take a listen to the 3 clips that I got for y'all, and y'all know what we're going to do after that. We're going to come back and unpack this raw and uncut. So, Angry Cowboys fans, let's take a listen to what our franchise quarterback had to say.
Can you just talk about the season you guys had and the disappointment, you being healthy and the offense playing as well as they did and not even making the playoffs?
Yeah, you just said it's disappointing, tough year, up and down, but at the end of the day, we, on offense, as much success as we had, we still didn't play complementary in those games that we needed to. Some of those games that we did win, the defense the one that stepped up and allowed us, right, to have an opportunity to win. You think about the Philly and you think about Kansas City, and so some of those games where they didn't play their best, we didn't play our best by scoring as many points as we could. So that's just the reality of this game and the team game, and it's an important offseason. We know we got to get that side of the ball right, but we got to make sure that we aren't complacent with what we've done on our side of the ball. We've got to get one of our guys signed and make sure that we take a big step on offense as well.
You said getting one of your guys signed.
Yeah.
Which one are you talking about?
Yeah, the guy out here. The guy out here that doesn't have a contract, no matter in whichever way that they got to do it, he's an important piece of this offense, important piece of what we're trying to do. And so leave it to those guys. Obviously, if I need to get involved, I've said it before, I will. But confident in Jerry and everybody who makes those decisions and how much he means to us.
I swear, Cowboys Nation, Dak Prescott says everything that a true franchise quarterback needs to say in order to big up his squad. He's out there giving his defense credit when every single Dallas Cowboys fan saw that there were more than a hindrance than a help during the 2025 season. But I don't expect Dak Prescott to get up there and just degrade his defense. What I do expect for him to do is take accountability for what he can control, and he did exactly that, Cowboys Nation. Credit to our franchise quarterback. Now, jumping into the second clip, Dak Prescott's asked about his wide receiver 1A in George Pickens. So let's go ahead and take a listen to that so we can come back and talk about it. Roll the clip.
I know you had high hopes when they signed Pickens or acquired Pickens, but the season he had, I mean, you couldn't have imagined before.
No, you really couldn't. And it's credit to him. It's credit to Jerry. It's credit to the front office going and making that deal. You get a guy like that, and you're just looking for help for CD. And when you get into the season, and CD you have a whole off season, you're planning for how to attack, and then after game 2 or whatever, CD goes down, and then this guy really just steps up and comes into his own and shows us how great of a player he can be, and allows us to see we have 2 number ones, and it was a blessing for us. It's the main reason we got to keep him. He does more than just open it up for CD. He's a game changer himself, and we've got to use that.
I mean, let's go ahead and keep it a buck. Everybody in Cowboys Nation had high hopes when it came to acquiring George Pickens. We also had high hopes in them extending George Pickens. But like Dak Prescott said, he does more than just open it up for CeeDee Lamb. GP3 is a dangerous weapon, and with 1 year under his belt, I believe he could be even more dangerous for the Dallas Cowboys if extended. We'll talk about that more during the Raw and Uncut portion, so make sure you stick around for that. Now, jumping into the third clip. In this clip, Clarence Hill Jr. asked Dak Prescott about the monkey that's on his back, and that's appearing in the Super Bowl. So let's go ahead and take a listen to that so we can come back and unpack this raw and uncut.
Being at the Super Bowl again, and the Cowboys not being there, is that a monkey? Is it a cloud that hangs over the franchise? Did it hang over you? Is it personal? You know, what do you...
It's a little bit of all of it. Monkey, gorilla. You know, he grows, he gets bigger each year that we don't make it, and that's real. You know, talking to Micah, it's one of those things. You know, you become a rookie, you get in here, and you know everybody thinks they can win the Super Bowl, and they think how easy it is. And when you have a year like I did as a rookie year, you think you're gonna have multiple opportunities to get back, and you sit here in year 10, having opportunities in the playoffs and not doing what you wanted to do as a team and definitely individually, it hurts. And every year, you know, it just means even more. And so, being here, yeah, you want to be here and you want to be playing, but the mindset that I have, we go through everything for a purpose, and you can't tell me that all these 10 years and every experience I've had wasn't for us to, you know, be better and to get there next year.
He's absolutely right, Cowboys Nation. Everyone thinks it's so easy to get to and win a Super Bowl championship. From the talking heads to the non-believers in Cowboys Nation, if a Super Bowl was so easy, why aren't those naysayers winning the Super Bowl for the Dallas Cowboys? But you know what? Y'all ready for this raw and uncut? Y'all ready? Let's get it. Get ready for the Angry Cowboys fans, raw and uncut.
Keeping it real, man. Keep it real. That's real.
All right, Cowboys Nation. The one thing that I cannot stand about talking heads, as well as some of the fans in Cowboys Nation, they all think that a Super Bowl is as easy as pouring themselves a bowl of Fruity Pebbles when it actually isn't. There's so many things that the organization has to do before it even gets down to the field for the team to try and make it to a Super Bowl. The way that these fans talk, it's easy. It's as easy as they could just go down to the field and bring the Lombardi back to the Dallas Cowboys. If that was the case, why aren't these naysayers signed to the Dallas Cowboys, helping them bring a Super Bowl championship back home? On top of that, some detractors, they'll get on social media and they'll degrade the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys as if he's not giving the team and the fan base his all out on the field. Not one of those fans could hold Dak Prescott's jockstrap, much less play the quarterback position at a high level. They can't even play the quarterback position at a high level on Madden. So when those Dallas Cowboys fans talk, I let it go through one ear and out the other, because couch quarterbacks can do anything according to them. But I am so glad to see that Dak Prescott is out there reaping the benefits of his hard work this year and attending that Pro Bowl. I know the Pro Bowl isn't what it used to be, but to be named to the Pro Bowl, hey, it's still an honor, Cowboys Nation. But I also want to give Clarence Hill Jr. credit for the interview with Dak Prescott. He was out there asking the questions that Cowboys Nation wants to ask, but can't get the chance to ask. We want to know how he feels about the new defensive coordinator, Christian Parker. We want to know how he feels about the 30-year drought when it comes to the NFC Championship or the Super Bowl appearance for the Dallas Cowboys. We also want to hear about how he feels about George Pickens and his contract situation. If there's one person that George Pickens should be asking for advice on this team, that's his quarterback. That's Dak Prescott. Bro has gone through everything George Pickens is about to go through and even more. Dak Prescott has been franchise tagged twice and never once missed a day at training camp. Dak Prescott knows all the tricks and all the trades that Jerry and Stephen Jones will use against George Pickens. He knows the passive-aggressive slander that'll be out in the media about him. He knows how 105.3 The Fan, First Take, and all the other talking head programs will be using to paint a negative narrative about George Pickens. He also knows that it's all in the game. It's a part of the business, Cowboys Nation. The one piece of advice that he can give George Pickens that Micah Parsons obviously didn't take: don't take it personal. I have a feeling that Cowboys Nation's going to hear about George Pickens' disciplinary actions when he and CeeDee Lamb missed curfew out in Las Vegas. They're going to hear about the game where people thought that George Pickens was running his route lazily. We're going to hear them try to pick George Pickens apart. We're going to hear them bring up George Pickens' Pittsburgh Steelers past. There are things that shouldn't be brought up in this contract negotiations, but we all know that they're going to be brought up by the media, and hey, it might even be brought up by Jerry and Stephen Jones in the process. But this is a part of the Dallas Cowboys I wish would be thrown in the trash. These type of contract negotiations is what I wish would be eliminated from the Dallas Cowboys. There's no reason to slander a player that you want on the team to slander them to the media. There's no reason for Jerry and Stephen Jones to use their media appearance to bash a top player that they're trying to retain. We want him to have a Dallas Cowboys star on his helmet. Why use this as a repellent? Use it as attraction. I'm not saying that you should be sucking up to the player, but you don't have to go out of your way to make these players feel like shit when all they want to do is play football for your organization. And I said this earlier in the video, Cowboys Nation. Extending George Pickens will give the Dallas Cowboys an even more dangerous weapon in year 2. During the first year, Dak Prescott had to build a rapport with George Pickens. They had to get their timing and their rhythm down, and I believe that came when CeeDee Lamb went out due to his injury. They moved George Pickens to the wide receiver 1 role, and they were still able to move the ball effectively on the offensive side of the ball. Just imagine what year 2 would bring for the Dallas Cowboys. But I believe that George Pickens would be even more effective in this Dallas Cowboys offense moving forward. It's not about overshadowing CeeDee Lamb or anything. It's about giving your offense more than one target to get the ball to. More than one dog at the wide receiver position. This isn't saying that Ryan Flournoy isn't a dog, but with CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, as well as Ryan Flournoy out there, it makes Ryan Flournoy even better. Both George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb being force multipliers for this offense. But that monkey on every Dallas Cowboys player, coaches, exec, and fans' backs needs to be taken serious. The fact that the Dallas Cowboys haven't been to or even attempted to go to a Super Bowl in the last 30 years is a travesty. I understand that making it 2 and winning the Super Bowl is a hard task, but the Dallas Cowboys have had teams that could actually have gotten the job done, Cowboys Nation. With George Pickens, this offensive unit is one that can get it done. Now all we need is the defense to get on the same page, and the window to the Super Bowl could be pushed wide open once again. Then Dak Prescott went on to talk about if he's going to have to get involved with the George Pickens contract situation. Dak, do you know what you're saying? You do know that if you get involved, Jerry and Stephen Jones are going to ask you to sacrifice your money to ensure that George Pickens stays a Dallas Cowboy. Honestly, if I were Dak Prescott, I would be inclined to sacrifice some of my money in order to try to solidify my legacy within the NFL. I've already set records for the organization. He's going to need that Super Bowl victory to make sure that he can punch that ticket to Canton in once it's over. And at some point in a top-tier quarterback's career, he's going to have to sacrifice in order to get further than where he's taking his squad. Now might be the time for Dak Prescott. But no matter what the Dak detractors say, I'm more than comfortable in who's leading this Dallas Cowboys team into the 2026 season. Will Dak Prescott be 33 during the 2026 season? Yes, he will, but that doesn't mean that his talents will be diminished, and that doesn't mean that his talents will fall off a cliff because he's 1 year older. Sure, he's on the other side of the age hill, but he's not 1 foot into retirement. And Cowboys Nation has continuously asked Dak Prescott to speak up when he wants something. They've been saying that he should be more vocal within the organization. At some point, Cowboys Nation, I feel Dak Prescott should stand up and advocate for the wide receivers that he wants to be throwing the ball to. The wide receivers he feels can help the Dallas Cowboys offense be elite. The wide receiver he's had a positive rapport with, and that's George Pickens. But some fans say that Jerry and Stephen Jones aren't that stupid to let George Pickens walk out the front door in favor of thinking that Ryan Flournoy could carry the torch. Well, Cowboys Nation, I hate to be the bearer of bad news and burst your bubble, but Jerry and Stephen Jones has done this type of move in the past. Remember when they traded Amari Cooper to the Browns thinking that the offense would run smoothly under Michael Gallup? Or letting Michael Gallup walk in favor of Jalen Tolbert and Brendan Cooks? Let's not give Jerry and Stephen Jones too much credit now, Cowboys Nation. They've been known for making ruinous decisions when it comes to the personnel of the Dallas Cowboys. Just because you see things moving a little bit differently doesn't mean that they've done a complete 180. So, Dak, please do whatever you can do in order to keep George Pickens in the Dallas Cowboys uniform. We don't have the draft capital to try to replace George Pickens, and is there even a free agent out there that's good enough to even take the place of George Pickens? I don't think so, Cowboys Nation, but This has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan. Cowboys Nation, what do you feel about Pop Pop's interview with Dak Prescott? Do you think he'll have any type of influence in keeping George Pickens in a Dallas Cowboys uniform this year? Y'all know how we do. We always talk about it in the comments section. If you're digging this content and you want to help the channel reach its current goal of 20,000 subscribers, drop a like on this video, share it with anybody that you know is a Dallas Cowboys fan, and if you're on your mobile device and you haven't spent them up yet, make sure you hype this video. Doing so will help the content get out to even more Dallas Cowboys fans so we can rep our Dallas Cowboys together. And if you are DC for life and you wish that Jerry and Stephen Jones would stop with the dumb shit and just get the deal done with George Pickens, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to be notified whenever I go live, release a video, podcast episode, or film breakdowns. You can catch the Madden 26 and College Football 26 on the channel that I've created, the Angry Cowboys Fan Gaming Channel. I'll put the link to that in the description. Seeing that this is the Dallas Cowboys, this story is going to dominate the front page of every single news page and the front spot of every talking head show. We're not seeing people talk about if the Green Bay Packers are going to extend Romeo Doubs or if the New York Giants are going to extend Wan'Dale Robinson. It's all about the Dallas Cowboys. It's all about the Cowboys, and the spotlight won't fade until they get the deal done. So let's get the deal done, Jerry. Stop the media prostitution and just get the deal done. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan, and I'm out. Dang, Angry Cowboys fan, you done made it through the entire video. But if you want more content, you can definitely go to this video right here. Or if you want the latest episode of the Angry Cowboys Fan podcast, you can go right here. But whatever you do, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, but remain DC for life.